Hi everybody, this is Viji'sVeggieVignettes back again with a very unusual recipe that I wanted to teach you because this is something I have been doing for years. One, I learned it from my aunt's house when we used to go there for holidays or live for some time when we did our college, and I brought this dish to my mother-in-law's house because and everybody started loving it. It is a completely new flavor for them because in my mother-in-law's home they are from Tanjore, and this I thought initially my aunt brought it from Tirunelveli, the region where she came from, but my cousins from Kerala, they told me that this is from Trivandrum basically, and we used to call it Yeruvalli. Yeruvalli is, a whole lot of coconuts, freshly grated coconuts with roasted fenugreek seeds and roasted dried red chillies, blended together into a nice paste with the tamarind paste, and the whole thing comes together in a nice sauce. You add a lot of native vegetables to it. So when I said this is Yeruvalli to my cousins, they said, no, we call it Iru Puli, and we don't make it in any other part of Kerala like Palghat or something, but this is predominantly from Trivandrum. Whatever be the truth, either Trivandrum or Tirunelveli or whatever, I brought this dish with me to my mother-in-law's house and it became an instant hit. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that, and then it is so super easy. It is so super easy. You will have no doubts because I'm going to tell you exactly the amount to be roasted. And one more thing, I love speaking so much. I'm so passionate about what I do. I forget that the ingredients measurements have to be mentioned, which I don't do normally, and I might be a little here and there with that, but I will make sure that the entire recipe with the measurements is given in the description box below, and you can follow that. Follow my talk initially and then go down to the description box and follow the recipe, and you will get it to the T if you follow exactly the instructions I give you. Okay, so let's start. So let's start by first seasoning and keeping it aside, and then we will do the roasting bit. Okay, so for this what we use is coconut oil. Any Kerala dish that you use, it's mostly seasoned with coconut oil. So as usual, we'll allow the oil to heat up, and then we'll add, because it'll take a longer time for the mustard to pop. So well, it's almost hot. So let me add this, and you see it popping. So at this stage, I'll add a little curry leaves. Just stir it a little bit. I just crush it in my hand because that brings out a nice aroma, and I will just switch this off because the mustard seed is popped, and I'll keep it separately to be added later. So let's start with the fenugreek. So this is the fenugreek. Now this is, I'm talking about half a teaspoon. So let me take this much. Okay, let me take just this much. This is a little less than half a teaspoon because, okay, that's it. So this, I'll keep it a little low because it starts blackening faster, and I won't be able to control the color. I want it to be browned well, but not blackened. So I have to make sure of that first. Okay. Yeah. I will be roasting the dried red chilies separately. This is actually a very, very easy dish. Let's see. Can you see? This is browned well. A little more. Not satisfied. You want to bring out the right taste of the bitterness to it. So that is why they say you have to brown it a little bit, but not blacken. I think this is done. I'm going to set this aside. And then, now we'll go on for roasting the red chilies. Let me take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could take, if you want, you could just take about 6. It's left to you. But this also gives the nice color and the right spice. So you definitely add it. And this dried red chilies, this is basically from Tamil Nadu. This is not very spicy. Whereas the small round one that you get in Andhra is very spicy. And you get that wrinkled one from Karnataka or Kashmir or Gujarat. They're not spicy, but it gives a nice color. So it's only the Andhra one that is really, really spicy. Here, I have roasted this enough. I'm going to remove this. Okay? That's it. So I'm going to take a cup of this coconut, these two, and I'm going to nicely make it into a paste and get it back. But I would suggest you can just take 6 dried red chilies and not 8, because you might find that spice level comfortable. So we'll do this, and then in the meantime, let us cook the vegetables. So basically, the vegetables that we use for this is eggplant, which I've already cut and kept, carrots, and I've cut into 2-inch slice pieces of this okra. In fact, the okra and the drumstick I plucked from my garden, so it was a lovely feeling to do that. So all these 4 go into it. We can also add little slightly enlarged, peeled and cut potatoes to this. But what happens is, after you make this sauce, when the whole thing is complete, and then before you serve to somebody and heat it up again, the potato actually takes in more of the liquid and it gets even more thicker. So you'll have to add a little more water when you serve, you know. So I didn't add the potatoes here. So here we go. I'm going to add water because we're going to cook this first. Okay, water, and of course salt. So I'm going to add salt. Actually, I like to take the stone salt in my hand and add, because I feel more comfortable, you know, than measuring it in a teaspoon and adding. Though I can do this also, I can add pink salt like this. So basically, you heat the water, let the salt dissolve, and then you add the vegetables. Okay? Here you go. Now, you need to use tamarind paste for this ultimately, but I wouldn't use it now because tamarind makes the vegetables cook much slower and it won't give the desired effect. Okay, so here you go. I like to make it a little. I've added salt in this. Here, as I am stirring it in this water, you can see it turning greener, and which is actually good for the vegetables because they turn out into a lovely color. But when you add tamarind along with this, not only does the vegetables not cook well, but they also don't retain their color. So I'd like to add the tamarind in the end. Okay, so we're going to close this and cook for a whistle. At least even a couple of whistles is okay. It should be fine. I've kept it in medium flame and I'll allow this to cook. So as I showed you initially, this is the paste I have made. I have shown you how to roast each one separately, the fenugreek and the dried red chilies. I've ground it into a very fine paste here. And this we will add water and we'll put it in the pan now. So here we go. I've added a little water to it because you shouldn't keep it as a thick paste. It has to be watery because when you start stirring it and it thickens more and more. And if suppose I had added potatoes, it would have really taken in all the water and it would have become a little more thick. But here, as I told you, I've not added potatoes. And I'll add the water that I used to cook these vegetables. Let it come to a boil. And then I'll add the vegetables in the end because they're so green and so beautiful. I don't want to spoil the color, okay? So, here we go. I have this seasoned curry leaf and mustard here, which I'll add in the end. And once it comes to a boil, it's done actually. It needs to come to a boil so it gets cooked well. It's not still raw. I mean, the coconut gets cooked. It doesn't have that raw smell. But anyway, the flavor here is incredible. I can smell the aroma of that roasted fenugreek and the roasted red chili with the coconut, and it's simply incredible. Okay, so I will add this seasoned thing here now, and the mustard, the curry leaf. I can get the flavor already, and at this stage I will add the vegetables. Just look at this, how green this is. So you don't have to really thicken it while stirring it because it'll gradually become thick on its own. So these native vegetables are available in all the Indian groceries. You can definitely go there and search. A carrot is anyway available. Okra is there. If you don't get the fresh drumstick, you get the frozen drumstick, which you can use and cook. You have to make sure when you cook these vegetables, you have to make sure the drumstick doesn't break. It has to cook in the insides and the outside skin should not be broken. Because when we eat it between our skin, the flesh from inside, we eat only the flesh from inside and we discard the outer skin. This is one of the tastiest vegetables you can ever have. And these are all typically South Indian. So we're done with this and we'll talk about it after this. So I've actually added about 1.5 tablespoons of tamarind paste, and you mix it up with the paste, fine paste, and then I'm going to add water and then do that. Okay, this incredible dish can be had with hot steaming rice like jasmine. It's as fluffy as jasmine. That's how the South Indian rice has to be. It cannot be grainy like when we make the rice with basmati. So this is the special South Indian rice, which has to be made like they say, like the jasmine. You know, my grandmother used to compare it to the jasmine flower, as fluffy, as white and as soft as the jasmine flower. So you mix cooked dal with that, pigeon peas dal, add a little salt to it, add either melted or unmelted homemade ghee to it, and make a nice, mix it up well, and then add this sauce on the side with all those vegetables. And I can tell you, the taste is simply awesome. It is so tasty. Everybody in my mother-in-law's family just took to it instantly because this was not their kind of flavor at all. But this is so Kerala in its taste, so flavorful. And the flavor of the, the fenugreek, the red chilies with the grounded coconut paste, and the curry leaves just fills the dining table, you know. You just start wanting it more and more. In fact, when you start making it and then you serve it to your family, you're going to make it pretty often. I have explained it in the easiest manner possible, and I want you to try this recipe and then post your comments below in the description box, because, you know, in the comment section, because I would like to know your feedback. I try my best to make any dish that people call complicated as simple as possible. I don't believe any dish in the South Indian cuisine is complicated or long-winded, or it has so many spices that you want to avoid some and then you want to try it another time because you're finding it a little complicated. Nothing of that sort. I try to make it as easy as possible, add the least number of ingredients that makes it the best dish possible. So I would like you to try it and give your comments. And you can even send me photographs of what you have tried in whatever way you can, messenger, my mail, or anything like that. And I would be glad to answer back all your questions. And that would make me so happy that you have tried the recipe. So it's very important, before we sign off, it's very important that you subscribe to my channel, because very often when we go to watch a video, we want to learn a dish or something, we go inside a video and we see the whole thing. We see how it's made and everything. Look at the description box in case the details of the recipe is given. And then we just come back. You know, maybe we like it or we forget to like it, but we view it nevertheless. But subscribing to the channel is pretty important, because that way I can carry my legend of my community cooking forward. And if I get more subscribers, I can reach out to more people and talk about my passionate journey. So that is why I want you all to subscribe to my channel. And also, one more reason is, every time there is a new recipe that is put out, you're going to get notification for it. So you will be alerted that a new recipe has come and you would like to watch it, because all my recipes are authentic, traditional, absolutely delicious, and a treat to learn, because I make it as interesting as possible. Okay, this is so much part of our tradition, our culture, which we follow even today. You know, we have not, in fact, if I have some food outside a North Indian or a continental or something, I rush back to complete the day's meal with this kind of meal, because this kind of meal is something soul satisfying for me. And it's something I want to carry it forward, explain to people how beautiful this kind of cooking really is. So till we meet again the next time, here's Viji'sVeggieVignettes signing off, and I will come back to you with another new recipe. Until then, bye.